What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at a cool PC budget build that I made for 90 bucks. So anyways, let's just get right into the video. This was actually a video I recorded over the summer, so kind of better late than never getting this uploaded. So what makes up this $90 budget build PC is just a random gateway case that I had for free. So if you have any other cases, you could probably do the same thing as I did right here. The $56 went towards the GTX 750 Ti that I got from AliExpress. Not too bad of a card. And the $30 came from an older Optiplex with a 3rd generation i3 processor that had 8 gigs of DDR3 memory inside. The PC was pretty easy to build, thankfully. It had a little bit of hiccups since you're building inside a pre-build, but other than that, it didn't turn out as bad. So I did a little bit of a cosmetic job, so you guys are going to see how the PC case turns out. Here we are with the lovely old case right here. I wanted to give it more of a frosty white style, so I didn't make the whole PC completely white, so you'll see a little bit of darker spots which make it look a little bit icy. This is my first time spray painting a PC case, just had a little bit of fun with it in the process. This was actually fixed a little bit later on because I had to take a little power button out in the past, which you totally don't see right there. I actually used a new case later on, which I'll update you guys with. So here we are inside Windows. The CPU usage and the physical memory usually both sit between 20% when idle. This is actually me loading a game right now, so you'll see that the CPU usage will go up a little bit, but usually when idle, it'll sit between 15%, 10 to 15 around there. First game we're going to try out is Rocket League. All these games are going to be recorded at 720p, only because this computer itself, I'm trying to aim towards 720p gaming. So everything is set to high quality in this, and the only thing that's dimmed down a little bit is just the resolution itself. So as you can see, jumping in here in Rocket League, everywhere for the FPS is around 120 to 140 FPS. I'm just using the in-game Steam FPS counter, just because that's what you can kind of expect if you're just a general PC user playing on a machine like this. So even when you're getting exploded and whenever you get goals in this game, the FPS will always sit at a very high frame rate. There isn't any dips as far as what I got. So in CSGO, I actually set everything to pretty high settings as well, just like in Rocket League. So it's pretty nice out of all what the frame rates that we get later on. So inside the actual match itself, the only times you'll see a little bit of dips sometimes during an explosion or when you change scenes. So for example, if you're going into a different menu or when a new round starts, that's when you'll generally see the FPS drop. But of course, whenever you see me shooting people and whenever I'm walking around, you'll tend to see the FPS go around from 80 to 120 FPS. Usually that's the minimum. Usually, and of course in menus, it's always going to be high. So as you can see, during the explosion, that's when we hit our 80 to 90 FPS. So an old game that I used to play a lot called Murder Miners. This is an indie game from Xbox 360, but of course now it's ported to PC. I just wanted to try it out real quick just to see how it ran, and running at 720p, it always ran at a consistent 60 FPS the whole time playing this game. This game isn't hard to run at all, and I bet that most of you that have a pretty bad computer can run this game no problem. You can even run it in window mode, which will help 10 times more if you do have any problems running this game at a higher frame rate. So the next game that we're going to try out is Far Cry 5. This is the big bomb on my computer right here. So as you can see, what I was mentioning before, on the top right of the screen, it just mentioned that the driver was out of date. This is when I finally noticed that the driver was out of date, and that meant I kind of had to update it. So I didn't do that until later. So you guys will only see how this machine is before I did that update. And just letting you guys know now, the FPS is a little bit higher once I actually did update the card. Going through the settings right here, as you can see, everything's set to 720p. And I had everything set to pretty high settings at first just to see what the machine can actually do. And it actually wasn't that bad, even though this is a very new game, and trying it out with an i3 3rd generation processor that's only a dual core and a GTX 750 Ti with only 2 gigs of VRAM. And of course the memory itself didn't really cause any trouble. So anyways, we're going to hop into the benchmarks right here and I'll talk to you guys after this. As you can see from the chart right here, I made sure to have the FPS being able to go all the way, so we'll be able to see if the FPS gone any higher than 60. So as you can see, the game itself didn't really run all that great as we would expect, even though older games tend to run a little bit better. So newer titles will kind of hold this machine back a little bit, unless if you want to put in a newer graphics card or if you just want to upgrade the CPU a little bit. Later on, I actually did upgrade this machine to an i5 3rd generation processor, which did a lot better, and I feel like just pairing it with a new motherboard and a new graphics card is all what this computer needs in order to run a lot better than it was beforehand. So in most of these scenes when I'm shooting things and whenever I'm doing anything in general when it comes to combat, the FPS will usually sit around 40 to 50, and sometimes it'll just drop completely depending at random moments. Especially with explosions. Using the lower graphics settings compared to the higher graphics settings in Far Cry 5, my performance was still around the same. I still had drops when it came to crowds and explosions, so I feel like the VRAM is what's just holding this GPU back from being a little bit better and giving us more performance. In the Far Cry 5 arcade mode, you'll get higher FPS and you'll get a little bit better performance, usually because there isn't much going on other than just a lot of cliffs and stuff that run around depending on how the map is. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys later. Peace out.